in partnership with CommSec.
Okay, let's get a check of the markets on this Monday morning. Over to Tom Piotrowski. Did you have a good weekend, Tom?
Pete, you're kind to ask. It was a lovely weekend.
Did you get on the bike?
Same.
Up to the Blue Mountains?
Yes, I did, but on four wheels, sadly, rather than two.
Bit too cold, is it? You get some ice follicles on the beard?
I'm not one to shy away from small things like temperature, Pete. I think we spend too much time in a cosseted environment. You need to expose yourself to the elements where possible, so that wouldn't have been a factor.
No.
I may have just been a little bit too lazy, to be honest.
No, that happens. You work hard. You deserve some lazy days, Tom. How are our markets looking today?
Well, we're going to see only a flat start where the ASX 200 is concerned, ever so slightly in negative territory is the prediction at this stage, Pete. It was a similarly dull outcome on paper when it came to the US markets. There were only modest movements. So in the case of the S&P 500 on Friday, it was ever so slightly lower. The Dow Jones was up by 0.1%. The Nasdaq was down by 1/3%. It felt like a very sluggish session, but some of the key inputs into sentiment included the preferred measure of inflation that the US Federal Reserve looks at, and significantly this was in line with what the market was expecting, so that sometimes hyperventilated conversation around inflation was neutralised, so that was good. There were some more trade headlines that were unwelcome. The Trump administration accusing China of reneging on a trade deal was unwelcome, but the market held its nerve. And this is important in the context of what was put together over the course of the month, Pete. The S&P 500 rose by 6.2% in the month of May. That was not only the best performance since November of 23. It was the best May improvement since 1990. So on top of that, you had the Nasdaq up by 9.6%. There was a moderation in long-term interest rates. That's significant because you've seen those interest rate markets behaving quite erratically recently. So down by 3 basis points on Friday to 4.4%. So things are moving in the right direction. It's just a question of what happens now in the new month of June. This week in particular is marked by a lot of growth measures, Pete. This is significant. So you had that focus on inflation on Friday. The growth outcome now needs to be held up as well if the market optimism is going to be maintained. Tomorrow we get the minutes from the last RBA policy setting meeting, and that'll be important in terms of contextualising that dovish pivot that we've seen from the RBA. The Aussie dollar is trading at 64.4 US cents.